All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. People on Zoom, can you give me like a thumbs up or you could unmute? Let me know if you're seeing me, hearing me, see the screen. Maybe throw it in the chat. They're not hearing me. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thanks so much. All right, let me know. I am going to be trying to monitor the chat the best that I can, but if you just please feel free to unmute if you have any questions along the way. We're going to go ahead and get started. All right, well, thank you guys for joining. This is Stay in Sync Smartsheet Calendar Essentials. So we're going to be talking about all things calendar app today. Yeah, exciting. Aw, okay, there we go. All right, so I am Jillian Chavez. I'm a program specialist with HSC Finance and Administration, and I am also a Smartsheet admin on the HSC side. All right, so what we're going to be going over today is what is Calendar App? We're going to go over the key features of Calendar App, and then we're going to go into solution demonstration. I like getting into the app and doing stuff in there. I think it's the best way to show you guys how to do it. And then we'll give you some resources at the end and send you on your way. All right, so what is Calendar App? So Calendar App is an add-on that creates customizable interactive calendars from Smartsheet data. So if you're already familiar with the grid in Smartsheet, you know that the grid has different views and it does have a calendar view that is tied to the sheet. So Calendar App is also linked with your sheet. You're going to get that live data, but it is a lot more customizable than what you have in the actual grid.
So we're seeing presentation mode, not the full screen.
Oh, is it doing that on the Zoom?
Yeah, that's what it's doing on the Zoom.
No. Okay.
Sorry.
Well, thank you. No, it's okay. Let me see if I can share it a different way. Thank you. Just a second, guys. I'm gonna see if I can figure this out. I don't know how to do this. Okay. Well, what do I do then?
Do
Oh.
options for the
So
presentation.
it has.
You can
Oh, I
screen
guess I
two.
can do screen. Is it this one? Oh, wait.
If you click that one.
Oh, yes.
maybe.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I don't want to be there. I don't want to be on the side. Dang it. Okay.
Oh.
Whatever. Okay, I'm here, guys. Sorry. Hopefully I don't cover your guys' screen. I can't really move around anywhere. All right. So the purpose of Calendar App is to visualize schedules, events, and timelines in a calendar format. And some examples are project milestones, team schedules, leave tracking, that sort of thing there. All right. Okay, so what are the benefits of Calendar App? So you can easily view tasks and events in a calendar layout, customize colors and labels to highlight priorities, share calendars with stakeholders without giving full sheet access, and keep everyone aligned in real time. So again, these are live. They link to your sheet. They're always going to be updated. So if you have it for leave requests and you get a new leave request in your sheet, it's going to send over to that calendar on your Calendar App. A big, huge way that we use Calendar App is by embedding them on dashboards because they do have unique links, as does pretty much everything in Smartsheet, right? So yeah, I have a staff resource portal dashboard that everyone has access to in Smartsheet. I have a lot of helpful links on that dashboard. And then I also have the calendar leave request app on embedded on the dashboard. So if someone wants to be, go and see who's off that day or whatever, they can do that just on our Smartsheet dashboard. All right, so what are the key features of Calendar App? So multiple calendar views. So you can switch between, which is not available on, the grid option. You can switch between monthly, weekly, daily. You can switch between different views there. You can color code by category, status, or owner. You have the option to do all of that in the settings. And then filter events to focus on what matters most. You can add those filters in if you'd like to. And then again, publish and share read-only or interactive versions of the calendar. All right, so when to use calendar apps. So maybe when you're tracking project deadlines, managing leave or shift schedules, coordinating events across teams, visualizing campaign timelines, and product launches, which, don't know if we'd do too much of that, but all right. Okay, so we're going to be jumping in to calendar app here in just a second, but accessing and creating a calendar app view. It's available through Smartsheet Premium apps. You're going to launch from the app launcher in Smartsheet. So we did talk about this a little bit. I will show you, but if you do not have calendar app in your launcher already, you will need to go to calendarapp.smartsheet.com. And then from there on, it will show in your launcher, but you might have to put that into your browser initially, or it might already be there. But sometimes that's the case. You got to log in first. And then you will connect it to your source sheet or report. So if you came to the dynamic view sessions, or if you know about that, it's very similar in that sense. All right, so let's see. Okay, so setting permissions. You can assign access by email address, or again, you can, publish the calendar, but we just want to make sure that there's no, sensitive data that we wouldn't want out there on a published, dashboard published link. Similar to everything else in Smartsheet that you publish, you do want to be mindful of what you're putting out there. So define role-based permissions, view only, edit certain fields, that sort of thing, and then test access before sharing widely. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go into the solution demonstration here. Oh my God, what is going on? Okay, all right. So we're gonna go ahead and share again. I don't want to be here, so I'm gonna turn that off. Okay, let's go to, I'm just gonna do screen and we'll go here. Okay. Okay, so this is, it's gonna look a little crazy on my tiny little laptop screen, so I do apologize for that. But this is what calendar app looks like. So this is a calendar for leave requests. This is what it looks like. You can already tell, like, it looks a little bit nicer than the one in, the sheet. And you do have more customization there. And then if you'll see here, if I click into this, you can see I have my little details panel. So that's what I'm saying. It's pretty similar to dynamic view. So, you can put what you want in here. It can be customizable. I do want to let everybody know that the permission level on your calendar app will reflect the permission level on the sheet. So if you do give them viewer access in the sheet, then they'll have viewer access on the calendar app. If you do give them some type of edit access, or if they have admin access, then they will be able to edit these on your on the actual calendar. So just keep that in mind. So the nice thing on here, my favorite thing, is that we can toggle between views here. So we can see that I'm in a month view here, but for leave requests, I do like this day view. And then, you can switch between weeks and those sort of things. And then you still have the same ability kind of to drill down into the details. If this is maybe a project rather than a leave request, you have the option to toggle over to attachments, and you can add comments there. Even for leave requests, it could be something you could mention someone, hey, do we have coverage for this day? And then again, it's going to be linked to your sheet. So then it'll shoot over to your sheet and it'll run maybe automations off of that, and send things out to specific people if necessary. And again, any changes here. So if I came in here and I changed the date or something, it's going to go and reflect on my main sheet. And then again, everything is pretty much happening on the main sheet. So your forms will still be there. Your automations will still be run off the sheet. So you do not build automations here on Calendar app. They'll be built on the sheet, but any changes on your Calendar app will reflect on the sheet and will be those triggers. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go into the settings so we can see what it looks like when you're actually building these calendar apps. All right. Oh, and you do have the option to download. You could download as an image, which is really nice. If you are just trying to send a snapshot of the image to, maybe your manager or something like that, and then you could download as a PDF as well. So if I click this little drop down button, since this is already built, I can go here and I can go into settings, and then we're going to go all the way back and look through the different settings options. So you can see it starts me at 7. But I'm going to go ahead and click previous and go all the way to the beginning. So whenever I am trying to create the new, let's actually go here. I want to actually start here. So if I click Smartsheet Calendar right up here, this little logo, it's going to take me to this page that shows me all of my Smartsheet calendars. So whenever I go to add new, this is where I'm going to select the source status. So this is where I do want to let you guys know you can select a sheet or a report. So we talked a little bit in some other sessions about the significance of using a report rather than a sheet. So that would be if you have maybe multiple, like maybe you have 5 different departments and they each have their own sheet, they each have their own leave sheet, but you want the calendar to show all the departments. So maybe you'll roll all of those up into a report. And then you will select the report on the calendar so we can have just one calendar for all the different departments. Maybe it's for, a high level executive or something like that that needs to oversee everyone's leave, something like that, right? But just keep in mind that when you are rolling sheets into reports, they have to have the same naming conventions. So if you have date on one of those leave sheets and then you have start date on a different one, it's just going to add them all as different columns in your report. So keep that in mind when you are rolling up sheets into a report. You do want those same naming conventions. Otherwise, it's going to look a little crazy. It might not matter for certain things, right? So if we're just putting a report on a dashboard and we are rolling up, different columns, different things like that, that don't necessarily need to be linked together or tied together in any way, then that is okay. But best practice is to have those same naming conventions. So just keep that in mind if your reports are looking a little wonky. All right, so we'll go ahead and select the sheet, and I'm going to go in here so you can see it tells me I have 6 calendars, and also keep in mind that you can transfer calendars here too. I mentioned before as well in a different session, but I, as a system admin, whenever you leave and I have to transfer your Smartsheet items, I do have the ability to transfer them in bulk to a different user, but that does not include your calendars. That does not include your dynamic views. So just keep that in mind. If you are building something that is highly used, you will have to come in here and transfer these. Otherwise, we can go through Smartsheet, but we'll have a little bit of trouble getting those transferred over. All right, so I'm going to go back into my my calendar app presentation here, which again is leave requests. And I'm going to click the drop down and go into settings. And I'm going to go back. So you can see it doesn't let me go to number 1 because I already clicked my source that I'm feeding this into. But it does show me what view I want it to default to. So I have it in a monthly view, but I could make it default into like a weekly view instead. But your end user will always have the capability to toggle between those views in whatever way that they need to. But this is just the default view that we want to show them. Okay, so next, it's going to give you this kind of, oh, why does this look a little crazy? I'm sorry, I don't know why. Well, they are always kind of changing things on me. Literally looked different last night. All right, whatever. So, but it is pretty easy to follow anyway, right? So it's showing you over here, this is your task name. So this is, what do we want it to be, right? So these are pulling the columns from your sheet. So for me, this is a leave request, right? This is a leave request sheet. So I wanted to show the employee's name. If this was a project sheet, then I'd maybe want to do like the project title, or maybe if the project has an ID number or something like that. But it does give you this kind of little column mapping image to kind of show you what's going on here. So owner, task owner, do we want to put something there? I don't really want anything there. Maybe I would want to put like optional comments or like description of their leave, but I don't really, for a leave request, I don't really want anyone to know why they're taking leave. That's more for the manager to see. And so I'm not really going to include that there. You do need at least a start date on your calendar. So you don't need it to have an end date. So maybe you do have a need for that, right? Where it's just showing the start date. You don't want to show the whole end date. Maybe it's a super long project and that'll look a little crazy. We're just trying to show the start or something like that. So you do have the option to do that. You can do data grouping here. You can see that some of these are also on the display. So when I drill into those, what do I want it to show other than just on the calendar itself? When I clicked into it, we saw it opens the little details box to the side. We have the option to add these things in, or we can leave them out if we don't feel like they are necessary. And then so we can group data too. So maybe I want to group it by department or something like that. And then you could have a secondary grouping too. I don't really have a need for that here, but these are, what you can add here. All right. Oh, and then I do want to quickly show you. You have the basic. You can toggle between basic and advanced. I'm showing advanced, of course, so we can drill into every little bit of calendar app. But if you, if you don't have a need to change kind of the colors and all these things, and if it's just kind of too much, you can do just a basic calendar. So just keep that in mind. So, and then you could see it's kind of adding it's kind of faint up there, but you can see it adds my steps. But if it was basic, it would end here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go over to additional columns. So do I have additional columns that I want to add into my calendar, into my details? Again, this is the advanced view rather than the basic. So if you don't, I don't think that for a lot of calendars, you might not need these additional columns. I decided, you know what, let's add their email in here and let's add their department. But, you don't have to add these. Again, we can add them to the display field. We cannot. You can sort columns here. You have a little bit of customization there to maybe put it by department. I mean, I don't know, like maybe start date and then sort ascending or something like that. And then again, it's going to kind of give you that little view of what this is going to look like here as you add more data here. All right, so this is where there's a little bit of customization. So the first thing I want to show you is it says open date. This is important because if you put a specific date, which I think it defaults to, then you will select a specific date and it'll always open to that date whenever your user comes in. So if it's an old date, they're not going to be looking at what's going on today unless they click today up here. Kind of see it, it's gray in the background, but I like to put it as today. Now, you might have a need for a specific date, right? Maybe you're looking at the first quarter or something, and this is calendar to show the first quarter. Maybe you always want it to open to July 1 or something along those lines. But just keep in mind that if you don't have a need for that and you don't update it to today, then people will get confused. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So you have the option to display the number of periods. I don't usually have a need for this, but if you do have to show it by periods, you can do that. And then also you have the option to show the date format a little bit differently. So I like the, double month, double day, and then the 4, year there, but we don't have to do that. You have these different options here. And then color by column. So how do we want to categorize this? So for me, I wanted to do it by departments, but you do have different options. If you have a smaller department, maybe you color code it by people. Maybe you only have 5 people and you want to color code it by them. You could do that. I left it at department, and then as soon as I selected department, it gives me this custom tile color, and I was able to go in here and select the color that I wanted. So if you have some corresponding colors, or if you just want to edit it yourself, you get to do that. And then when you go down to tile view here, you're going to see these different options, and then it gives you this little preview here. So what I did was color filled, but if I go to default, this is what it looks like. So it does have that color, but it leaves it white on the inside. And I will probably change it so we can see, because we already saw what it looks like as color filled. But if you go through the different options, it says like with header bar there, with top bar, semi-transparent, and then the color filled is the one that we did. So color filled, and then that's the one, if you could see it there on the background, that's what it looks like there. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and change that so we can just see what that looks like. All right. And then again, these are all my different departments. So this is what that's going to look like for me. And then when I hit next, it's going to give me more options here. The most important thing on this page is your calendar name. What are we going to title this calendar, right? You want to be able to go back and find it. If people are shared to it, you want them to know what they're looking at. Okay, what is the start day? It defaults to Sunday, but we don't have to do that. Quarter start month, I have it set to July. Do we want to ignore weekends? Do we want to hide them? Do we want to show them? And then the web form link. So, oh, so open form here. Let me see what this is going to look like. It's just going to take you to it. Okay, cool. Just wanted to double check that. So yeah, you can grab this link. This is going to be the link for it. And then you could update your logo. It's set to the Smartsheet logo here. I didn't go in and change it, but you can see here, you can choose file and then you can update the logo there. And then you have a few different options here. A lot of them I don't really use and I don't have a need for them. So I might, so for a 4-5-4 calendar, I don't necessarily have a need for that. Some people might, but yeah, so I don't ever really have those checked. But do I want it inverted, use vertical timeline instead of horizontal one, except in month view, but you can do that in the other views, right? So do I want to hide the week number? Not necessarily in this. I do want to allow attachments. I do want comments. And for this one, this is an important one. Do I want to allow new events? Do I want people to be able to submit that leave through here? Do I want them to be able to put new projects directly through calendar view, kind of as a one-stop shop here? You do have the option to do that. And again, it's linked to your sheet. So as soon as they put it in here, it's gonna go into your sheet. So you will want to keep in mind though, that if you do have this enabled, you want to make sure that when we go back through all of these different columns, we will be adding all those columns into our details because we will need those things, right? So maybe I don't want everyone to see the description of why they're taking leave, but if they're submitting a new request, maybe they do need to put that description in there, right? So we kind of have to think about that when we are creating the calendar app versus when we are allowing new events. So that's very similar to dynamic view as well. And then again, default 4-5-4 calendar, a default 4-5-4 calendar, show hide button, display all categories. So we can, they can toggle that on and off. All right. So at the end here, we can look at what we have built here, right? So, oh no, it's not letting me move it back. Okay. Well, okay, so this is what it's looking like. This is what we added this and everything here. So I'm going to go ahead and put update. It should change a couple of things for me because I did make a couple of modifications. So I did change it to week view there. I just wanted the week and then, it's actually, I wanted to do it daily, but that's okay. And then it changed our formatting a little bit. So now it's color coded a little bit differently. So I see some stuff popped up in the chat. Let's see. Oh, presentation mode, lost sound. Oh, okay, cool. Never mind. It was on the end. All right. Okay, so we kind of ran through a lot of stuff there. Does anybody have questions so far about what we've seen?
It won't do times, right?
Times, no, it won't do times.
Jillian,
mean,
is
you
the
can-
communication between the calendar and the sheet bi-directional? Like if you change something on the calendar, it goes to sheet, you change something on the sheet, it goes to the calendar.
Exactly.
Okay,
So they will always be linked.
but you do have to create the calendar from the sheet. I was looking at my
Yes.
Smartsheet and I see under more launcher, and then when I click calendar, it is just showing a calendar that's not mine. Is that because I
Yes, you
didn't
may-
create one yet?
Yeah, you might have been shared to a calendar, maybe at some
Yeah.
level. Maybe that's why you're seeing that there. But yeah, you cannot create a standalone calendar without it being linked to a sheet. So it'll always be linked, right? You can never just kind of build it and kind of start going in the calendar. It's always going to have a sheet tied to it. So if you don't have data already in your sheet, you know, you might build the sheet out, but you might not have data in it. You'll come in here and link it and it'll be a blank calendar, right? So yeah, just keep that in mind. But it is bi-directional, like you said. It's any changes. So if I went and changed this one, like this Jordan Price, if I changed their leave on my sheet on the back end, it would show on the calendar. And if they came in here and updated something here in the details panel, it would automatically go and reflect on my sheet as soon as, you know, that was refreshed and saved.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. Was there a question here? I thought maybe there was.
I have a couple of calendars and I don't always get the option to assign colors to the columns.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
And I think it's depending on if I've got like kind of a helper sheet that I'm referencing that has
Oh.
references in it. It doesn't seem to interact the same way like on the
Oh,
display.
that's interesting to know.
I've
Yeah.
got two different versions here. It'll let you.
Yeah. Is it that your helper links, are they linked to your dates?
Really? So I have links to like summary milestones and the assigned to. So all the information displays and I can create the calendar.
Yeah.
It doesn't filter it the same way. If I actually just show you what happens.
Yeah, for sure.
So this one's reference. So like so when I go to I'm in time and design.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm just for the heck of it, right? Assigned to, that would be kind of the normal one. So I don't get that.
Yeah.
But then if I add a color like option to it, it will go through and randomly assign everything. It's kind
It
of
doesn't let you choose like your colors and stuff.
and the way it defaults is fine, but see how it just like
It just did it by
It didn't let me
itself.
choose
Yeah,
it.
it didn't let you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I will say, I was looking through some information for this presentation, and I didn't have an issue with this one, of course, like you saw on the
Yeah.
screen. There wasn't an issue with mine, but it was saying that there was an issue with the tile, like, you know, the color selection that Smartsheet is aware of and working on. So it could be something with like your links and your helper, you know, the helper formulas and things like that. But I did see that there was a bit of a known issue with the coloring.
Yeah. So like,
Yeah.
but when I reference it like the primary sheet,
Mm-hmm.
there's no issue. So it's
Yeah,
like when there's
that's-
something in between.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. It must be a bit of a glitch. And I did see something about that online, but it didn't specify why or anything, but that could be it there. Yeah, does anyone else have any other questions about anything we covered so far? All right. Okay. So, I mean, this is pretty much Calendar App, right? This is everything that we need to know there about Calendar App, except I wanted to show you very quickly. This is where you would do the filters. This is again where you would click today. Again, we want to be mindful of what date our calendar is opening to. And then this is where you do the add new there. So it's kind of right here by this little arrow. So this is where they would add a new one and then be able to add it in, and it would again go to your sheet, go to your calendar. So I'm going to go ahead and go back into settings because, or actually I'm going to go into share. Sorry about that. To show you what the sharing looks like with the calendar. So we'll see here, users with access to the source sheet or report already have access to this calendar. So be very mindful of what type of access people have to your source sheet. Because if you give them access, like let's say you have 5 different items and they're in a workspace, and let's say you give them view access to your sheet, but then they have maybe like they're an editor or something on the workspace, then the workspace access level is going to be what everyone else automatically has access to. So it overrules your sheet access. So just keep that in mind. So it's always kind of best practice to, unless they're like an admin or something like that, but it's always best practice to give people viewer access to your workspace and then give them higher access as needed to the sheets within your workspace. Because like, you know, we might not want them touching our calendars, right? But if they have editor access on the workspace and then your calendar sheet is in that workspace, then they're going to have more access than we really want them to. So we do want to be mindful of that. So we can allow access to users who don't have permissions to the source sheet or report. Users can view the calendar on the calendar list page. That's probably why you had access to that calendar. Someone probably gave you access here. The share link is a direct link to the calendar that will ask users to log in. So again, everyone in the source sheet will automatically have access to this calendar. But if you want to add people just individually to the calendar, you can do that here. So we'll go ahead and toggle on sharing. This isn't the newest update that Smartsheet has rolled out. They've updated like dynamic view and stuff like that. But this one, you do have to use a comma to separate names. So we're adding emails in or we're adding domains in. We can share by email or domain, but it can look a little funky. You have to write in, so you have to put it in like this, and then you're going to do a comma, and then you're going to start the next person, right? So just keep that in mind whenever you are sharing, and then you have the link to give them, right? So maybe I don't have anyone shared to my source sheet, and I'm just sharing them by their email here. Maybe I only have about 5 people, right? So I'll go and grab this link, and I will put it on our team dashboard, and then they will have access from there. But if I want to publish this, so maybe it's kind of a project task list, right? And there's no sensitive data, nothing that I don't mind publishing. Then instead of sharing, okay, I can go ahead and publish, and then I can just grab this publish link. Just be very mindful of the links that you're grabbing, because then you'll start getting people emailing you saying that they can't see what you're trying to give them. So this, you can of course go link it directly on your website. You could put it on a Smartsheet Dash. You could throw it in Teams. You can add a tab on Teams and throw your calendar in there. So that's really nice. So this is how you would go and add it onto a Smartsheet dashboard as well. So I'll quickly show you how we will add this to a Smartsheet dashboard. If the computer is going to work with me. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead. And all right, let's see. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go to create here, and I'm going to go down to dashboard. All right, so here's my nice blank Smartsheet dashboard. I'm going to go ahead and go into edit. And then what I like to do is, sorry, it's blocking everything, guys. Okay, so let me go in here real quick and just look at this. I'm pretty sure it's not going to do this for me. But yeah, okay, so we can't do it by Smartsheet items. It's not going to be linked that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into, I'll just leave that there. I'm going to go ahead and go into web content. This is the way that you're going to embed stuff into your Smartsheet dashboard. So also, if you want to embed like a YouTube video or something like that, or even a form just directly onto your dashboard where they can actually scroll through the form on the dashboard rather than opening it in a new window, you can do that here in the web content widget. But I'm going to go ahead and click add content, and then I'm going to put this here, and it should throw it in here for me. Oh, wait a second. Oh, wait a second. Is it not going to do this? Let's see. Am I giving you guys bad information? Let's see here. Oh, this should be it. Let me go back really quickly. Share. Oh, I think I turned the publishing off. I think that's all that happened there. Hopefully. This is all over the place there. All right. Delete that. Delete that. Save, and let's see what this looks like here. Sorry, everything's moving so slow, guys. Okay, so I'm going to go back in here because I hate that. Don't like that at all. Okay, so now it looks nice and cute, and we'll want to throw some links on there, throw some logos on there and some helpful information for our team. But now they can come in here and they could look at this. Now keep in mind, it's not really going to, oh, okay. Let's see. Again, they changed things on me. So you can open it from here. It's going to still open the details panel. It's going to look nice and the way it does on Calendar App because they've updated stuff and I love that for them. But you'll see that now it's grayed out. This is the published link. You know, they aren't going to be able to make these changes. So this is good, right? We don't really want them to do that. Maybe we have a different way for them to update their leave or their projects, but this is just a view, right? We just want them to be able to come here, who's taking leave, and you know, so on there. All right. So does anyone have any questions about anything that I just showed you? Because we're going to jump back into the PowerPoint. Anyone on Zoom? All right.
Will the dashboard will automatically change the week focus on it, or how does that update?
What do you mean?
So like we're seeing like week 7 through 10. So let's say we're in the middle of September, will everything slide over?
Yes.
Automatically?
Yes, it will. Yeah, yeah. And then again, as long as you have it set in your settings to show as today, then it's always going to update. Yeah. But if you have it set to like this to show a specific week that we're trying to report on here, then it'll. Yeah, exactly. So the dashboard kind of won't really update it, but the calendar app will. Yeah. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna hop back into our PowerPoint and let me see. How did we do this last time? Okay, that's not quite it, right? What's it showing? Did I
presentation on it and then I gave it second screen? It was weird.
I know, yeah, so didn't I do that just now? Didn't I go on the, let's see, slideshow from current slide. Okay, is it showing you my other mode again? Am I weird? Okay, there we go. I think that's it.
Yes.
It's good?
No.
Oh, it's not.
Wait, now.
Oh, it switched. Just a delay. Okay. All right. Thank you guys.
No, yes, no, yes, no, yes.
Thank you for your help, guys. All right. Okay. So we might have already talked about these a little bit, but some best practices for Calendar App. Use clear color coding for categories or departments if it allows you to. Keep source data accurate and up to date. Of course, you know, that's best practice for calendar. We want to make sure that we're keeping our sheet up to date. So it's displaying on our calendars properly, right? We don't want to forget about these calendars and them have old data in there. So use filters to avoid clutter. If you have a calendar that has a lot of information, you will want to be using those filters. You know, we didn't really have a need for it in our demo, but you will want to use those filters so it doesn't get too crazy for people that are viewing that. Refresh and review regularly for accuracy. Again, that's kind of the same thing that we talked about. And as you've seen throughout this presentation, Smartsheet updates stuff all the time. So sometimes you're gonna go in there and, you know, there's a new feature that you've been waiting for and it's there and, you know, you wanna update your calendar. And so that's the same throughout everything in Smartsheet, you know, forms, reports, they're always rolling out these updates. You're always wanting to go in there and, you know, update for your end users. All right. Okay, so you probably have already seen some of these slides if you've been in presentations with me, but you can go and mess with Calendar App right now. You can go ahead and go get started. If you are a licensed user, you can create, own, administer new sheets, reports, dashboards, and calendar apps, right? So dynamic view, calendar app, all those things. Create and customize forms, automated workflows, proofing requests. If you do want to do a trial, you can do that, but it's only for 30 days. Please get a license before then or transfer it to somebody so you don't lose it by the end of that 30-day trial. And then free users can interact with anything you build. They cannot build anything. And then I don't think I've really mentioned this, but currently, right now for this fiscal year, main campus licenses are $649, and they are purchased through the software distribution, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then HSC is $689, and you will go through me. I do have a dashboard on our single sign-on page, and there is a form on there if you need to request, cancel, or transfer a license. So yes, they're always transferable throughout the year.
I have a question about that, Jillian. I saw on the website that there were some multi-user licenses. Are those not an option for us?
They are not. I'm sure that that might be specific to the Smartsheet platform, but because we have single sign-on, it recognizes you with your individual email, with your net ID and password. So really, we would not be sharing licenses. If we don't really have multi-user licenses in our account.
Okay.
But I will say, it's also best practice to know that you don't need a bunch of licenses in your area. Usually you only need like 1 or 2 people, depending on the size of your department, because once it's built, it will be functioning after that. You will not need a lot of people with licenses because it's really just for changing the structure of things, building and maintaining those sheets. So depending again on your department size, you might have maybe 2 people or maybe more if you're in a really large department, but otherwise you don't really need more than 1 license. All right, so some resources. So Smartsheet Help and Learning Center, Smartsheet has amazing resources. Please go look there. Smartsheet community forums. I've talked about this a lot of times already, so I'm sorry if you've been here in my sessions. But any question I have, I'm going to Google, I'm adding Smartsheet at the end, and it's probably already been asked on the community forums. They are extremely helpful. Go browse through there. If you're looking for a formula, it's going to be there. If you have a question about forms, anything you have a question about, I'm sure it's been on there. Utilize Smartsheet customer support. Me and Dina are also here for any questions. We are active on our internal Teams page. So join our Smartsheet user group and you will have access to that Teams page, and you will get our monthly newsletters, which we try to put, this is over here is a screenshot of our newsletter. We try to put any upcoming events. If we are holding trainings, we will give you that information. But if we are not holding trainings, then go to Smartsheet University because they have amazing trainings. You can only access them if you do have a license, but they do have instructor-led trainings and self-paced trainings. Some of them are paid, but a lot of them are free. So yeah, go there to get some help. All right, so I'm gonna leave it open for any questions here, but otherwise that wraps up our calendar app training. Thank you guys so much for attending.